I'm Charita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Sharon Mascarenas. First, it's a look at the day's headlines.
President says the proposed imputed rental income tax will exempt a person's first property. Many facilities arranged for devotees visiting Meentale during the Poson week. The government affirms unwavering commitment to advance women's rights. Education Minister says teachers should be equipped with skills to provide new knowledge for students. The halted internship training for Ayurveda graduates recommences. Russian president arrives in North Korea for a state visit.
Now we start off by taking a look at local news. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the proposed imputed rental income tax will exempt a person's first property.
He emphasized that this tax is aimed at high net income earners, not ordinary income earners, ensuring that it will not affect those earning normal income. He made his remarks while delivering a special statement to Parliament today.
We are taking up the finance issues, and since I may not be here at that time, I just want to tell the House in regard to the rental income, we are going to have a wealth tax, and there will be a very high threshold. So 90% of the people's houses will not even be, one house will be exempt from it, so don't worry, your house is safe. Why is it we are going to rental income? No, this was based on rating. Then we came up with a problem. Rates belongs to the provincial council. So if we go on the rating business, there is a possibility that the court can say that this money belongs to the provincial council. So we want to get it here. So we have used a different formula called rental income. Your income tax belongs to the central government. It's the same. We would generally have used the ratings, but to get over the constitutional issue that we have done this, but it's going to have a very high threshold, and I don't think the vast majority of the people in this country should even be worried about their house. So that's all, but we will have to get on to wealth tax. I know SJB is very, very worried that their billionaires who are with them will get tax, but nevertheless, this is the reason for it.
Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene announced today that the Supreme Court has informed that several clauses of the Telecommunications Amendment Bill should be passed by a special majority of Parliament. Now in other stories, President Ranil Wickremesinghe called for the appointment of a Parliamentary Select Committee to review the Supreme Court's decision on the Gender Equality Bill. He described the decision as a perverse, noting that it challenges the rights of women and the protection of Buddhism. He made these remarks while raising a point of order under the Parliamentary Standing Orders today.
The bill says, what is the national policy on gender equality and empowerment of women? There has been a national policy on women's empowerment and gender equality since 2011. These are obligations of the government under the Sustainable Development Goals 5 and a number of women's conventions and agreements that we have signed. More than that, in the case of Kamalavati and other versus the Provincial Public Service Commission, SLR1, national policy was deemed within the domain of the Cabinet of Ministers and Parliament. It's a political matter. The Supreme Court cannot in any way go and make any rulings on this. Then they are contravening and coming into our area. There are Ratnayaka Taranga Lakmali versus Niroshan Abekon and the Inspector General of Police. It recognized the dignity and well-being of people as a fundamental right. Then there are the 10-judge bench in Sarat Jayasinghe and others. We are of the view that mere reliance on the text used in a constitution is not sufficient to ascertain the values that are embodied in a constitution or its amendments. Similarly, you have the case where Shirani Bandaranayaka's judgment in Karunatilaka and Jayalat De Silva and others, which says the basic principle governing the concept of equality is to remove unfairness and arbitrary. It profoundly forbids action which denies equality and thereby discriminates. And finally, they have also ignored the determination, the special determination on the Penal Code amendment made by the Chief Justice. In this, we are talking of empowering women and ensuring equality for women. But according to the Goal 5 of Sustainable Development, even other minorities must get the government services without discrimination. That anyway follows from the average duties which have been given to us under fundamental rights. So all these powers have been disregarded. In a sense, the court has set aside everything and saying that this makes room. So in a way, what they have done is all these have disappeared, as if this court has eaten it up, all the other judgments. So in a way, how can you overrule a 10-judge bench, and how can you overrule the Chief Justice? So that is one area. Then they are saying that this will allow same-sex marriages and gender this thing. No, it has nothing to do with it. We can't allow that. They are going on this normal section which is put in every law by the legal draftsman and the AG, not by us. This law prevails over other laws, but this has also been interpreted. It's finally for the court to decide. And I think in Chamara Sampath and Neil Iddawela, they also referred to the points. This has been done by the doctrine of harmonious constructions. And the laws of marriage in this country can't be changed by one section. More than that, they say that the whole of basically the whole Pirivena Education Act can get knocked out by this. I don't know on what basis they have done. We have Article 9 which protects Buddhism, and I know this act because I'm one of those who drafted it, and the minister who implemented it. This has been taken on Article 9, and this, you think a small provision can change it? I don't think the Supreme Court or the bench that sat is even aware of what is Pariyatti, Patipatti, Pativeda. I think they should go to the temple and learn what this is, or to a Pirivena before coming and telling this house. We are aware of what is happening there. We have honorable member of the Sangha also. So these rights of what he is saying is that all the rights of the Buddhists can be taken away by one small section. And I am going to recommend that a select committee be appointed to go into it. There are no need to summon the judges. I don't think we should go into that. There are enough that can be studied and they can recommend it. And majority of the members should be appointed by the Women's Caucus. After all, this concerns women.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe affirms unwavering commitment to advance women's rights. The President reiterated that the government's goal is to ensure equal rights for women in the country and stressed his commitment to the objective. President Ranil Wickremesinghe made these remarks during his address at the ceremony held today at the Sirikota party headquarters. The ceremony was held to distribute letters of appointment to 600 zonal organizers appointed under the United National Party's new reorganization drive. Senior Advisor to President on National Security and Chief of Presidential Staff Sagal Ratnayaka and other party members were present at this occasion. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said today in Parliament extensive discussions took place on the Gender Equality Bill. However, based on the Supreme Court order, women do not have the right to equality, he added. The President said that no emphasized in Parliament that denying the right of women who constitute the majority of the country's population could be waived as a decision that goes against both Parliament and the Constitution of the nation. He said the goal of the government is to ensure that women enjoy equal rights to men as stipulated in all agreements of international women organizations. The judiciary, executive, legislature or any other institution cannot hinder the realization of this objective, he added. The President said that the government is fully dedicated to achieving this goal, and he emphasized his commitment in Parliament today to dispel any concerns. Moreover, he emphasized that they cannot accept any decision that may undermine the protection of Buddhism, and efforts are currently underway to address this issue. And meanwhile, Minister Bandula Gunawardena says that railway services and other facilities have been arranged for devotees visiting Anuradhapura and Behintale free of charge, marking the Poson week.
Meanwhile, 400 buses have been deployed for the convenience of the devotees arriving from various parts of the country. Close to 1 million devotees are expected to engage in Mihintale pilgrimage this year. Accordingly, a special program is underway for the convenience of the pilgrims. A special train service was commenced yesterday from Anuradhapura to Mihintale. Meanwhile, a special train service has been initiated from Colombo Fort, Beliata and Hikkaduwa to Mahava railway station. Steps have been taken to provide lodging and sanitary facilities for the devotees while the renovation activities are underway at the sacred city. Buses will be deployed from Mahawa, Galgamuwa, Horopatana, Kabatigolava, Madavachia and Kakirawa towns covering the Anuradhapura and Miyintale. This is in addition to the normal bus schedules. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that a section of the railway line from Anuradhapura to Miyintale has been newly constructed. Accordingly, he said that the devotees will be transported from Anuradhapura to Miyintale sacred site on the 21st, 22nd and 23rd free of charge. Additionally, he said that 400 buses will be deployed from various parts of the country. He said that measures have been taken to telecast religious programs for the Posan festival with ITN in Sithulpawa and the national television in Anuradhapura. A person zone has been organised covering Diyagama, Pitipana, Meegoda, Godagama and Homagama on the 21st, 22nd and 23rd of this month. Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that measures have been taken to organise a rice dansala in Pitipana Knowledge District town with the support of the Sri Lanka Army. He said that the dansala will continue for 3 days, catering to over 100,000 people. He said that many organisations, media institutions and private companies have come together to organise a person zone in Homagama.
The inaugural public rally organised by the Sarva Jana Balaya collective was held at the Nogeguda Junction today. The theme of this rally is to rejuvenate the hopes of 6.9 million. The political parties and organizations of the Sarva Jana Balaya collective arrived at the main location of the rally on foot. Members of the leaders of the joint political parties were also present at this occasion. Parliamentarian Veerasumana Veerasinghe said that JVP leader Anura Kumara is requesting for power to walk the rest of the journey with ease, with Sajith is requesting for power to cover the shortcomings. However, he said that this is not the solution for the prevailing issues. Parliamentarian Channa Jayasumana inquired 5 differences in the political force led by Sajith and policies drafted by Harsha and the political force led by Anura Kumara. Parliamentarian Uday Gammanpila said that Anura Kumara and Sajith are in the same bracket. He said that the NPP has launched the conspiracy to penalise war heroes today. He also said that the terrorists and the investigators involved in the Easter attack are part of NPP. Parliamentarian Vimal Veerabansha claimed that Sajith has agreed for the complete implementation of the 13th Amendment upon meeting TNA in North. He said that certain entities have claimed that there are only 3 solutions available with the selling of state agencies, money printing and using fixed deposits of the public. He said that in order to achieve this, there is no need for an entity with a red flag.
Minister Harin Fernando says politics should not be played out with the sport cricket. The minister made these remarks when the orders under the Tourism Act orders, under the Registration of Title Act orders, under the Crown Land Ordinance and orders under the Convention Against Doping in Sports Act were taken up for debate today. Minister Ali Sabri said that the draft constitution has been submitted. He said that according to the draft constitution, it should be implemented through a 18-member committee. He said that 9 members will be selected from the clubs, while the other 9 will be appointed through nominations. The minister said that out of the 9 nominated members, 5 should be cricketers, while others should be experts in law, economy and management. Accordingly, he said that they request to approve this law based on the recently submitted report.
ඒ අනුව නීතිය සම්මත කළ යුතුයි කියන එක තමයි අපි ඉල්ලා සිටින්නේ. මොකද එහෙම නැත්නම් මේකේ ඔලුගෙඩි මාරු වෙලා පුද්ගලයෝ මාරු කරලා මේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම මේ ක්‍රමය ඉවත් කිරීමේ හැකියාවක් නැහැ. අපිට පේනවා අද වෙනකොට ක්‍රිකට් වලට වෙලා තියෙන දේ. ඔය ඉන්න පරිපාලනය කිව්වා 2022.
Parliamentarian Heshavi Thanage said that following the defeat in 2022, he said that cricket administration vouched to win the championship in 2024. He said that the administration even claimed to have a plan to reach this achievement. However, he said that the team was knocked out from the group stages. The parliamentarian said that along with Minister Harin Fernando, they discussed how Sri Lanka cricket through the involvement of the IPG would get exposed to betting and how then Minister acted in a certain way with the use of LPL.
ක්‍රිකට් වලට සූදු වලට සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න මේ LPL එක යොදාගෙන එවකට ඉරුව ඇමතිවරයා කටයුතු කරපේ ගැන අද වෙනකොට IPG එකට ඕන විදියට මේ ගේම් එක කොච්චර දුරට ගිහිලා තියෙනවද කියන එක හරින් ප්‍රාන්ත ඇමතුමාගෙන් මම අහනවා මතක තියාගන්න ක්‍රීඩා අමාත්‍යාංශයෙන් ක්‍රිකට්
Minister Harin Fernando said that the Ministry of Sports, Land and Youth Affairs is not only focuses on cricket but around 73 sports. He said that a new regulation was introduced to dissolve members who have served in the executive committee for 16 years to function further in future committees. He said that the current president has completed 16 years of service, hence he will not be able to contest in the next election. He said that all sporting associations are attempting to be in power forever. He said that those who are involved in the business of betting are ineligible to contest for a post in any of these associations.
ඔබතුමා මගෙන් අහන LPL ගැන LPL එකට IGP එකට දුන්නේ මන්ද දුන්න කෙනා ඔබතුමා දන්නවා ඔබතුමාගේ පැත්තෙම ඉන්න කෙනෙක්ට චෝදනාවක් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා මේ ගිය පාර තිබුණ LPL එකේ ඒට අනිද්දා බලන්න එතුමා පරීක්ෂණයක් කරනවා මට ආරංචිය වවණියා උතුරු ප්‍රදේශ ලේකම්
Parliamentarian Charles Nirmalanathan said that there is no hardball matless ground in Vavuniya North Division. He said the people in the division has set up a club named Purachi Sports Club and performing well without any proper equipment. Minister Harin Fernando requested for a period of a month to set up facilities to 3 grounds in the region. He said that the opposition leader recently inquired whether Jaffna has a test ground with lights. He pointed out that SSC, Gaul, Suryaveva, Pallekele, Askiriya are the only test grounds in Sri Lanka and Jaffna has no ground with a turf. He then said that politics should not be involved in cricket and it should be rebuilt with compassion.
Leader of the Mahajana Eksat Peramuna, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena invites people to build a democratic and non-violent political power while rejecting violence. He mentioned that during this election year, a strong movement will be built to take the country forward. The Prime Minister made these comments in Kirilavala yesterday while attending the conference organised by the Mahajana Eksat Peramuna under the title The Future of the Country and Our Responsibility. Vice Chairman of the party, State Minister Sisira Jayakodi, was also present on this occasion. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that especially the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna is the most powerful part of the government. He invites all to take country towards the goals of rapidly transforming the government and institutions established to the government. In order to move forward those goals by changing the current conditions, he said that the government needs to strengthen the people to be able to move with determination. The people gathered around the new requirements and presented their demands, he added.
Minister Susil Premajayantha says that teachers should be adeptly active in order to acquire the necessary skills to impart new knowledge to students while updating their knowledge. The minister made these remarks while taking part in an event held at Gautami Balika Vidyalaya in Colombo recently. The event was organised to distribute prizes for All Island School Waste Management Poster Art Drawing Competition held at Gautami Balika Vidyalaya. The minister addressing the gathering said that if all schools can be digitalised and brought into the same network, then all subjects could be taught from one location. Minister Susil Premajayantha said that if 10,100 schools can be digitalized and brought into the same network, then all subjects could be taught from one location. He said that the knowledge could be searched and this new knowledge can be imparted to the children. He said that the technology is advancing and in constant search for new knowledge, he said that everyone should be prepared for the future of the children as no change can be brought in without bringing the change now and by creating a suitable environment.
State Minister Sisira Jayakodi says that the halted internship training for Ayurveda graduates delayed due to the ongoing crisis in the country has recommenced. He made these remarks at a press briefing titled Collective Path to a Stable Country held at the President's Media Centre today. State Minister for Indigenous Medicine Sisira Jayakodi said that as the Ministry of Indigenous Medicine, they have achieved significant progress previously due to the various crises and the internship training for graduates of Ayurveda from universities was delayed, he added. However, on the 3rd of June, he said that the ministry commenced the internship training for 207 graduates of Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani medicine with a monthly payment of 67,500 rupees.
Here's more news in brief. Alms were offered for 60 resident bhikkhus at the Suvarna Gila Gilambiku Centre in Kirivattuduwa, Homagama today. It was held with the participation of Minister Bandula Gunawardena, founder of the Mahakaruna Buddhist Association in Singapore, Venerable Dr. Karandeniyathan Ratna Gunaratna Thera, and several others were present at this occasion. Agunawara Pattana Sangha Sabha organised the 63rd Pattana Dhamma recitation yesterday, and it was held at the Jayashree Ma Bodhi sacred site. It was held under the guidance of the Deputy Chief Prelate of the Malvatta chapter, the Venerable Dibul Kumbure Vimala Dharma Thera, and the Atamasthana Adipati, the Venerable Palligama Hemaratana Thera. Ma Sangha and Army Commander Vikum Lianage were present at this occasion. The unveiling of the pinnacle and the exhibition of sacred relics of the newly built pagoda of the Sri Lanka Rame Vihare in Karawa, Molokava was held yesterday. It was held with the participation of former Minister Akila Viraj Karyavasam. It was organised under the guidance of the chief incumbent of the temple. The summit of the Commonwealth Iconic Federation was held recently in the country. The aim of the summit was to establish a cultural exchange related to all sectors between Sri Lanka and China. A branch of Kunlun University in China was also established in the country. That's a look at local news. Stay with us. Foreign news is coming up next.
You can make a difference. It is your duty to help eradicate dengue. Clean up your environment at least once a week. A message from the Dengue Control Unit of the Ministry of Health.
Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in the North Korean capital Pyongyang today to meet the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un on Tuesday. Two leaders last met in September and in Russia's Far East, but this is Putin's first visit to Pyongyang since 2000. In a letter published in North Korean state media, stated that Russian president promised to build trade and security systems with North Korea that are not controlled by the West. It is reported by the foreign media that President Putin also vowed to support for North Korean efforts to defend its interests despite that he called US pressure blackmail and military threats. Russian president have said that the two countries would continue to resolutely oppose what described as Western ambitions to hinder the establishment of a multipolarized world order based on mutual respect for justice. Meanwhile, the United States said it was concerned about the deepening relationship between the two countries. The Kremlin has described the event as a friendly state visit, with the Russian media reporting Putin and Kim may sign a partnership agreement, including on security issues, and will give joint statements to the media.
And Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had dissolved his 6-member war cabinet, a widely expected decision that follows the departure of centrist opposition leader Benny Gantz and his ally Gadi Eiskind. A government spokesman said that pre-existing security cabinet and the large full cabinet would make decisions about the war with Hamas in Gaza. Since Gantz quit 8 days ago, where he was said lack of strategy for the war, there have been calls for war right minister to take his place. By dissolving the war cabinet, Netanyahu avoids a tricky situation with his coalition partners and international allies. A spokesperson for Israeli Defense Forces said that as far as it was concerned, it would not affect the chain of command. Ben Gantz and Gadi Eiskind joined a national unity government with Netanyahu.
The post-fire north of Los Angeles has so far burned about 15,000 acres of land. Local media reports that hundreds of people have been forced to evacuate their homes. Throughout California, several wildfires are burning, marking the beginning of the state's wildfire season. The post-fire, the largest currently burning in Southern California was threatening structures after destroying at least one commercial property. About 1,200 people were evacuated from the Hungry Valley State Vehicular Recreation Area. Winds were pushing flames south toward Pyramid Lake. An evacuation warning was placed for areas of south of Pyramid Lake, and the post-fire started last weekend, and the reason for the cause of the fire has not been determined. Meanwhile, throughout California, several wildfires are burning, marking the beginning of state's wildfire season.
Cases of a dangerous and highly fatal bacterial infection have reached record levels in Japan, with experts so far unable to pinpoint the reason for the rise. As of June 2nd, Japan's health ministry had recorded 977 cases of streptococcal toxic shock syndrome, or STSS, which has a mortality rate up to 30%. It has recorded by Japanese health officials about 77 people have died from the infection between January and March this year. The ongoing outbreak in Japan has already surpassed last year's previous record of 941 preliminary infections, the highest since statistics began in 1999. Japan's National Institute of Infectious Diseases reported 97 deaths due to the STSS last year, the second highest number of fatalities in the past 6 years. The STSS is a rare but serious bacterial infection that can develop when bacteria spread into the deep tissues and the bloodstream. Patients initially suffer from fever, muscle pain and vomiting, but symptoms can quickly turn life-threatening with low blood pressure, swelling and multiple organ failure as the body goes into shock.
At least 11 migrants died and dozens missing in the Mediterranean after their boat flooded with water off the coast of Italy. Nearly 60 migrants were missing after a separate shipwreck off Calabria. Rescue workers found 10 bodies in a shipwreck carrying suspected migrants off the Lampedusa island. German aid group Rescue said on X, confirming the first accident. The deceased were trapped on the wooden ship's flooded lower deck. Rescue also picked up 51 survivors from the sinking vessel, but one of them died shortly afterwards. 2 of the survivors were unconscious and had to be cut free with an axe. The 10 dead are in the flooded lower deck of the boat. The wooden boat had reportedly sailed from Libya and was carrying migrants from Syria, Egypt, Pakistan and Bangladesh, UN Refugee Agency said in a statement. The other shipwreck east of Calabria region involved in a boat that had set off from Turkey, reportedly carrying migrants from Iran, Afghanistan and Iran, as the UN agency said.
Pinamu macang prima kotumi fantamai.
Sri Lanka managed to win the one-day international series against touring West Indies women's team today.
Sri Lanka secured the series win with a 5 wickets victory in the second ODI. The match was played at the Surya Vava International Stadium in Hambantota. Batting first, West Indies scored 92 runs in 31 overs. Rashad Williams scored 24 runs for the Windies. Kavisho Dilhavri picked up 4 wickets for 20 runs. In response, Sri Lanka clashed down the target of 5 wickets in hand at the 21st over. Kavisho Dilhavri scored 28 runs. The third match of the series will be played on the 21st of this month.
A group of athletes, including international medal-winning Tharushikarna Ratna, was felicitated recently. They were felicitated at the Colours Awarding Ceremony 2023 in Watthagama Educational Zone. It was held at the Mahinda Rajapaksa Auditorium in Polgolla, Kandy. 806 athletes in the Watthagama Educational Zone were felicitated at the event. 188 coaches, teachers in charge of sports and principals were also felicitated. Tharushikarna Ratna and Shehan Dilranga of Walala A. Ratnayaka Central College received golden crowns at the ceremony. UGOP Sampath of Watthagama Central College received the silver crown.
Pinamu macang prima kotumi fantamai.
And with that, we conclude tonight news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing with Sharon. Stay safe.